Jace lived on the edge of a forgotten moon. He wasn't a soldier, a pilot, or a hero. He was just a poor human mechanic. His workshop, Jace's fix-it hole, was small, dusty, and filled with junk. Most days he fixed broken bots and overheating engines. Most nights he slept under a thin blanket with the ceiling leaking drops of condensation onto his face. Life was simple and hard. One morning, as red dust blew across the landing pad, Jace heard a loud thud outside. A delivery drone had dropped a large metal crate near his workshop door. The drone beeped once and flew off without a word. Jace scratched his head. "I didn't order anything." He checked the tag. To Jace Miles. From Gregan Miles, deceased. Status: inheritance. "Uncle Gregan," Jace whispered. His uncle had died 2 weeks ago, an old mechanic with a mysterious past. They hadn't spoken in years. He knelt beside the crate. It was big, almost as tall as him and twice as wide. The metal was scratched, dented, and covered in dust. A warning sign blinked on the front. "Live organic cargo. Do not open unless." "Stable environment is present." Jace's heart raced. "He left me a living thing?" He carefully dragged the crate into the shop using a small loader. The wheels screeched and the crate groaned under its own weight. Then something inside growled. Jace froze. The sound was low and angry. Not a soft pet noise. No, it was a warning. A wild, deep growl from a creature that didn't want to be disturbed. Jace backed away slowly. "Okay, you're alive. That's new." He waited a few hours, then returned with a tool scanner and a strong plasma wrench. He knelt down and slowly unlocked the crate's seal. The metal popped. Steam hissed out. The room filled with a sharp, musky scent, like burnt iron and wet fur. Inside, chained to the floor, was a creature. It was no ordinary animal. It looked like a massive wolf, but alien. Its fur was dark gray with patches of silver. Thick, muscular limbs, glowing red eyes. Scars covered its body. A metal collar wrapped tight around its neck, blinking softly. The wolf stared at Jace and growled again. Jace held his hands up. "Easy. I'm not here to hurt you." The wolf didn't attack, it didn't move either. Just stared. Watching. Breathing. Over the next few days, Jace kept the wolf locked in the back room. He gave it food and water. It barely ate. Sometimes it growled. Sometimes it just lay still, its red eyes glowing in the dark. Jace started calling it Brock. The name just came to him. He couldn't explain it, but something about Brock felt familiar, like the creature was more than just a beast. Sometimes, late at night, Jace would work on old ship engines. He would hear strange sounds, metal clicking, tools moving on their own. He thought he was imagining it. But one morning, he found his broken plasma saw, fixed. Another day, an engine he had given up on was humming softly. He turned toward the back room. Brock was awake, sitting, watching him through the crack in the door. Jace whispered, "Did you fix that?" No answer, just a slow blink. Then one night, everything changed. A strong windstorm shook the metal walls. The power flickered. Lights went out. Jace grabbed a flashlight and moved toward the control room to check the generator. Suddenly, a loud crash from the back. He ran to the door. The chains were broken. Brock was standing in the center of the room, unchained, free, and staring directly at him. Jace froze. His heart pounded. "Brock, easy." But the wolf didn't attack. Instead, Brock stepped forward, slowly, each step heavy and quiet. Then, Brock spoke. His voice was rough, deep, broken. "You fix. I protect." Jace stared, mouth open. "Did you just talk?" Brock sat, head low, tail still. "No more chains. I stay. I protect." Jace felt his knees go weak. His uncle hadn't left him a monster. He had left him a guardian. And Jace didn't know it yet. But this strange, angry creature would one day make him richer than he could ever imagine. The storm outside didn't stop. Winds howled like ghosts through the cracks in the workshop walls. Inside, Jace sat with his hands wrapped around a cup of lukewarm broth, trying to make sense of what just happened. The alien wolf, Brack, sat across the room, unchained now. Calm but alert. His red eyes flickered every time thunder shook the sky. He hadn't moved since he spoke. Jace kept staring. "You talk?" Brack blinked once. "Little." "How?" "I thought you were just a beast." Brack let out a slow breath. "Not beast, not pet, warborn." Jace's heart skipped. "Warborn like a soldier?" Brack didn't answer, but the silence said enough. That night, Jace couldn't sleep. He lay on his cot near the generator room, listening to the soft sounds of metal creaking, Brack breathing, and wind slapping the walls. Around midnight, something changed. He heard a spark. Not from a broken circuit, but from precision work. He walked quietly to the workshop. His jaw dropped. Brack was standing over one of the junk engines, a tool in his mouth. Small electric surges moved between his claws. He wasn't just touching the engine, he was fixing it. "No way," Jace whispered. Brack paused, turned to look at him. "Fix good. You. Slow." Jace laughed. "Hey, I'm still human." Brack gave what might have been a smirk, or maybe it was just his scarred jaw tightening. By the next day, Jace's workshop had never looked better. 3 engines were working. 2 drones were fully cleaned and recharged. Even the lighting panel was humming softly again, and Brack had made a bed for himself, using old cloth, wiring foam, and a heater core. Jace watched him work from the corner. "So, you're more than you look." Brack looked up. "You too." That made Jace pause. He hadn't thought anyone could see him like that. Not in years. Over the next few days, things got stranger. Every time Jace repaired something, Brack stood nearby, silently watching. Sometimes Brack would nudge parts toward him before he even asked for them. Other times, the wolf would growl at the engines, and they would respond. Humming, pulsing, almost like they were afraid. Jace asked, "What are you, really?" Brack didn't speak. He simply tapped his claw on a metal panel. Symbols lit up. Not words. Code. Jace scanned it. Military. Code. Pre-Galactic Union era. Hidden data locks. Brack wasn't just a soldier. He was a living weapon system. A biomechanical interface. One afternoon, Jace got a visitor. A tall man in black armor stood at his door. "No repairs," Jace said quickly. "Shop's closed." The man didn't blink. "We heard rumors, a living relic, weapon grade, sentient wolf class." Jace shook his head. "I don't deal in weapons." The man leaned in. "We'll pay 10,000 credits for one sample of the creature's DNA." Before Jace could respond, Brack walked in, eyes glowing, teeth bare. The man stepped back. Fast. "Brack," growled low. The air grew hot. "Leave," Brack said. The man nodded and vanished without another word. That night, Jace sat beside Brack. You could have killed him. Brack looked at the stars through the ceiling crack. Could. Didn't. Why? "You protect me. I protect you." Jace sighed. "I don't even know why I'm doing this." Brack tilted his head. Jace looked up. "I'm broke. I sleep on parts. I eat moldy rations. And now I have a half machine. Warwolf as a roommate." Brack's eyes flashed with a soft light. Not broke. Just unseen. Jace stared at him. No one had ever said that to him before. Not even humans. That night, a quiet bond was born. Not from words, but from the silence between them. Jace didn't see a monster anymore, and Brack didn't see a master. They saw something rare. Understanding. The night was too quiet. Even the dust storms had stopped. Jace sat at his workbench fixing a fried circuit board while Brack slept in the corner. Or at least, pretended to sleep. Jace could always tell. The wolf's ears twitched when tools clicked. His tail moved when sparks flew. He was always listening, always watching. But tonight felt different. Jace's hand paused over the circuit. His eyes drifted to the ceiling. A pressure was in the air, like something was coming. Suddenly, the lights flickered, then the power died. Total darkness. Jace stood up slowly. Brack? A low growl answered him, but it wasn't angry. It was alert. Outside, something moved in the dust. Jace grabbed his old lightstick and crept to the front door. Through the dusty window, he saw two shadows moving around the perimeter. Not looters, not miners. Too quiet, too fast. Someone's out there, he whispered. Brack rose from his corner. His fur shimmered with faint red pulses. He walked to the door, silent as smoke. Jace tried to activate the defense grid, but with the power gone, they were exposed. Suddenly, a voice came from outside, mechanical, cold. Unit K9A7, you are property of the Onyx program. Surrender for extraction. Jace froze. They're talking to you. Brack stood still. Then for the first time, he growled like a real monster. No. The door burst open. A tall, armored figure rushed in, followed by another with a stun rifle. Jace dove behind a tool table. But Brack charged. He moved faster than Jace had ever seen. Not like an animal, but like a trained soldier. He dodged plasma. Shots spun low and slammed into the first attacker, breaking armor like glass. The second figure fired a stun blast. It hit Brack square in the side. He fell, hard. Brack! Jace screamed, rushing toward him, but Brack didn't stay down. His body glowed with sudden red heat. Metal pieces in his spine shifted. Wires hissed. Then, he spoke in full language, clear, powerful. I am not your weapon anymore. The agents froze. You broke me, used me, buried me. Jace stared in shock. Brack's voice had changed, no longer broken, no longer rough. It was complete, intelligent, alive. The intruders ran, leaving behind sparks and boot prints. Brack stood in the silence, breathing heavy. Jace stepped forward. You can talk like that? Why now? Brack turned slowly. I held back. Why? I did not know if you were like them. Jace felt cold all over. Who were they? Brack lowered his head. Scientists, soldiers. I was created in a lab, grown from the last living beast of Fexar 6. But they added machines, control chips, pain triggers, commands. Jace swallowed. You were trained to kill. No, Brack said quietly. I was trained to obey. And now, I choose. The power returned in a slow hum. Lights buzzed. The room filled with a low, warm glow. Jace looked at Brack, really looked. He wasn't just a creature. He wasn't just smart. He was awake. Why me? Jace whispered. Why did my uncle send you to me? Brack paused. Because you fix things. Not just machines, people too. Jace didn't know what to say. For the first time, he felt something strange. Not fear, not pity. Responsibility. Later that night, Brack lay near the heater, licking the wound from the stun shot. Jace sat beside him, eating cold rations and thinking too hard. You don't have to stay, he said quietly. Brack didn't look up. I know. But you are? Yes. Why? Brack closed his eyes. Because I am broken, and you are the only one who ever tried to fix me. Jace had never seen this kind of tech. He held a scanner in one hand, pointing it carefully at Brack's back. The alien wolf sat still, fur lifted slightly to reveal a line of faint metal under the skin, like small ridges down his spine. The scanner beeped again. Unknown biotech signature. Detected origin. Classified status. Active. Dormant. Jace blinked. What the hell are you hiding inside you? Brack didn't answer, he just said, scan slow. Pain sharp. Jace nodded and continued gently. I think there's memory nodes in your body. Some kind of embedded tech. Brack growled softly. Buried, locked, war commands, memories I do not want. But they could be valuable, Jace said half to himself. This is pre-Union design, old war science. You might be carrying data from an extinct civilization. Brack's ears twitched. So, Jace whispered. This stuff could be worth millions. That night, Jace stayed up studying the scan logs. Most of the data was unreadable. He didn't have the tools or clearance. But one file opened, a video. Blurry, glitchy. In it, Brack was strapped to a cold lab table. Wires ran from his chest, spine, and head into glowing machines. A man in a white coat spoke to the camera. Subject K9A7, final integration successful. The cognitive storage nodes now record mission input, tactical response, and adaptive, emotion suppression. This is the perfect battlefield recorder, and if captured, the host will self-erase. Jace's eyes widened. The perfect recorder, he whispered. You're not just a weapon. You're a walking memory bank. The next day, trouble arrived. A sleek black shuttle descended near Jace's workshop. No markings, no call, signal. He hid the scanner instantly. Brack moved beside him, quiet and tense. Two figures stepped out, tall, armored, and not friendly. One spoke. We are here for asset K9A7. Jace acted confused. What's that? The man didn't blink. The wolf you keep in your back room. Jace felt his heart pound. I don't have anything like that. Brack stepped forward from the shadows. He lies. I am here, and I am not your asset. The end. Soldier raised a weapon. Stand down. Brack didn't move. Try me. Suddenly, Jace jumped in front of him. Wait, just talk, okay? Why do you want him? The second soldier answered. He carries memory nodes that were never meant to survive. Battle data, coordinates to forbidden tech, governments would kill to possess it. Jace swallowed hard. You mean, he's worth money? Not just money, the soldier said. Power, control, secrets buried in time. He is the last of his kind. Brack didn't speak again. He just walked forward, slow and calm. The soldiers aimed, but Brack didn't attack. He looked them in the eyes. I remember what you did. Every needle, every chain, every scream. Jace reached for the emergency plasma switch under the table. The moment the soldiers moved to grab Brack, zap! The shop's defense core exploded with light. Blinding pulses of sound and electricity knocked both men back. Brack leapt forward, not to kill, but to destroy their weapons. Within seconds, they were running, limping, leaving behind their gear. Jace and Brack stood alone again, breathing hard. Later that night, Jace sat across from Brack holding the scanner again. He looked at the wounded wolf. You know what they're gonna do now? Brack stared at the floor. More will come. Yeah. And if they find out what's inside you, you will be hunted too. Jace nodded slowly. Silence. Then Brack said something soft. You can take it. Remove memory core. Sell it. Be rich. Jace frowned. You're offering to let me cut it out of you? Brack didn't blink. You saved me, fed me, spoke kind. I give you what you want. Jace stood up fast, almost angry. I didn't protect you for profit. Brack looked away. Others would. Well, I'm not others. He turned the scanner off and tossed it onto the table. We're not selling you, Brack, not your memories, not your pain. Not even your secrets. Brack finally looked up. Then what? Do you want? Jace smiled faintly. I want to fix you. All of you. And maybe, together, we fix more than just broken engines. Brack stared. Then he nodded. A slow, silent promise passed between them. This wasn't just a mechanic and a wolf anymore. It was the start of a legend. Jace woke up to the sound of something dripping. He blinked, sat up, and saw the red trail. Blood. It led from the back wall to the middle of the shop. "Brack," he called, panic creeping in his voice. The alien wolf lay still on the cold floor. One of his side panels, organic metal-fused skin, was torn open, leaking glowing red fluid. His breathing was rough, chest rising slow, eyes flickering. Jace ran over, dropped beside him. "What happened?" Brack didn't speak. Just looked toward the door. It was half open. "Someone got in?" Brack gave a slow nod. "They didn't take anything." Jace checked the workbench. The scanner was still there. The old military gear untouched. Then, what had they come for? Suddenly, Jace noticed it. On the wall, scratched in alien script. "We want the code." Brack was too weak to move, so Jace locked the doors, sealed the shop, and dragged a heater over. He worked all day, cleaning the wound, sealing the breach in Brack's side. He wasn't a doctor, but he used what he knew. Machine glue, soldering, stabilizers, and old med patches. All the while, Brack remained quiet, until nightfall. Then he whispered, "They know." Jace nodded. "Yeah, and they'll be back. They think I still carry coordinates, weapons, Empire vaults." "Do you?" Jace asked. Brack's eyes narrowed. "I don't remember, but they think I do. That is enough." Next morning, the sky above mining moon 7K turned black. A small warship hovered in the clouds. Jace watched from a distance with old binoculars. That's no bounty crew. That's a private military vessel. Brack was already standing, though limping. "They won't ask again. What are we going to do?" Brack turned to him. "Run." Jace packed what he could: food, scanner tools, old schematics, and a hover sled. They left the workshop behind, hidden through canyons where dust storms howled, and old mining tunnels snaked like spiderwebs underground. Every few hours, Brack would pause and tilt his head. They're tracking heat motion. He dug his claws into the rock and scrambled their trail. Even wounded, he was thinking ahead, protecting Jace. But Jace noticed something else too. Every time Brack's paw hit the ground, a glow came from under the dirt. Faint blue flashes. He dug into one spot and pulled out a metal shard. Ancient, sharp, with the same alien script as Brack's body. "What is this?" Jace asked. Brack stared at it for a long time. "Memory." Later, while resting, in an old collapsed transport wreck, Jace asked softly, "Brack, what was the code they want?" The wolf closed his eyes. "They call it Vault 9. A weapon, a cure, a throne, no one knows. Only that my mind holds the key." Jace sat back. "That's the fortune they think you're hiding." Brack opened his eyes. "Yes, but if they get it, many die." Jace shook his head. "So why not destroy it?" "Because it is part of me." Just then the ground shook. A low hum echoed across the rocks. Jace looked outside. A scout walker, a machine tank on 2 legs, was stomping across the ridge. Behind it, soldiers in black armor. "They found us." Brack forced himself up. "Go!" "I'm not leaving you," Brack growled. "You don't understand. If they capture me, they won't," Jace said, gripping his plasma cutter. "We fight." The fight was fast. Explosions rocked the cliffs. Jace used every trick he knew. Remote charges, magnetic pulse mines, smoke grenades. But there were too many. He was pinned behind a boulder when he heard Brack roar. The alien wolf leapt from a higher ledge, glowing with internal heat, circuits exposed, spine armor activated. He crashed into the enemy lines like a storm. One by one, the soldiers fell, but so did Brack. Jace ran to him through the smoke, coughing. Brack was on the ground again, this time not moving. Jace dropped to his knees. "Don't you dare die on me." Brack looked up weakly. "You're worth more than junk. Now." Tears filled Jace's eyes. You idiot! The code is waking. You must finish. What I started, Jace whispered. We'll finish it together. Brack was silent for 2 days. Jace did everything he could. Cleaned the wounds, replaced cracked biomech plates, recharged his energy cells. But Brack didn't wake, and the scanner showed something worse. Cognitive lockdown. The alien code inside Brack's brain was fully active now, defensive mode. His own mind was sealing itself shut, like an ancient vault guarding its last secret. Jace sat beside him, whispering, "Come on, Brack. You promised we'd do this together." The only answer was the steady beep of the scanner. Jace had no choice. He connected the interface cable to Brack's spinal port. "I'm going in." The moment he activated the connection, a blue surge hit his brain. He wasn't in the shop anymore. He stood in a vast black space, full of floating lights, spinning alien scripts, and echoes of roars from a long-dead world. A cold voice echoed, "Welcome, Executor. Vault 9 awaits." Jace stepped forward. He saw a massive gate, a digital wall made of pulsing code. In its center, the mark Brack always wore on his collar. The voice returned. "Only bonded memory can open the gate." Jace hesitated, then pulled up the file Brack had once shown him, the memory from the lab. He uploaded it into the vault. The gates rumbled, then opened. What Jace saw next changed everything. A recording played, thousands of years old. It showed an empire that ruled before the Union, towers floating in the sky, alien generals leading beasts like Brack into battle. Then he saw it. A child, an alien child, holding Brack's head, crying into his fur. "They took you, made you into a thing, but I know you're still my Brack." Jace blinked. Brack was never just a weapon. He was once a protector, a guardian, a friend, and they turned him into war. The next memory shook him deeper, a command, terminal with a blinking warning. Vault 9 weapon can alter terraforming protocols of Class M worlds. Activating this will overwrite planetary DNA sequencing. Jace whispered, "It's not gold. It's not a treasure." Vault 9 was a planet recoder, a god-level device. It could restore dying world or erase life entirely. He stepped back. No wonder they're after him. Suddenly, a red alert flashed. Unauthorized trace-detected enemies had found them in the real world. Jace yanked the interface cable free. Back in the shop, Brack's body twitched. "Brack." Jace shook him. Brack's eyes opened weakly. "You saw it?" Jace nodded. "You're carrying a map to a god machine." Brack groaned. "And you still stayed?" "I did more than stay," Jace said. "I chose. I'm not giving Vault 9 to anyone." Brack chuckled, voice raspy. "Good, then we fight." Before they could move, the ground shook. Outside, the warship returned, this time with tanks and air drones. Jace checked the fusion core. "We won't survive another attack." Brack slowly stood, weak, but glowing again. "Maybe not, but we make them bleed." Suddenly, Brack's paw lit up with code. Glowing alien markings moved along his shoulder, chest, and neck. "What's happening?" Jace asked. The code awoke. "I remember now." Jace's eyes widened. "You remember everything?" "Yes, and I know how to hide Vault 9 again." "But what about the attackers?" Brack growled. "They can come. I'll show them what happens when you corner a dying god." Jace grabbed a plasma cutter, looked at Brack with pride. For the first time, he didn't feel like a poor mechanic. He felt like something more, a defender, a partner. Outside, the war began. But inside that broken shop stood something no empire expected. A man with no name in the stars, and a beast once built to destroy, now ready to protect. Together. Smoke swallowed the horizon. The warship above the sky fired again. Another sonic blast shook the cliffs where Jace's shop had once stood. Now it was nothing but scorched rock and glowing ash. Jace wiped dust from his face. They're not stopping. Brack stood beside him, glowing red lines moving across his chest like ancient circuits coming to life. They won't stop. Until I'm dead. Jace looked at him. Then we can't let them get you. Brack's eyes narrowed. We won't. Jace activated the scrambler core built from Vault 9 fragments. This will bury the Vault signal across every old satellite on this moon. It will buy us 10 minutes, Brack said. Then we use those 10 minutes. They moved quickly, Jace, planting pulse charges around the crater where Vault 9's true entrance had been revealed, and Brack uploading the last of his memory fragments into the core. You sure about this? Jace asked. If I fall, destroy it. Jace's hands clenched into fists. You're not falling. Brack didn't answer. He just stared up at the descending fleet and walked into fire. The first wave of soldiers landed hard, elite private commandos in heat-shielded armor. But Brack was ready. He roared, and it shook the mountain. The ground split beneath their boots. Brack, bleeding but furious, launched into them like a burning comet. One by one he tore through the line, Jace covered from the ridge, sniping weak points in their armor. Brack's voice rang in Jace's comm. Jace, go, detonate charges. They're trying to breach Vault 9. Jace hesitated. But you're still in range. I said go. Tears blurred Jace's vision. He pressed the trigger. Boom! The ground exploded in white-blue fire. Dust swallowed everything. Silence followed. For a moment, Jace thought he had killed Brack. Then the comm buzzed faintly. Still alive, but barely. Jace laughed, crying. You stupid, heavy, brave bastard. He ran down, searching. There, under broken armor, metal, and blood, lay Brack. One eye open, chest rising slowly. Jace fell to his knees. Hold on. I'll fix you again. No, Jace. This time let me go. No. Vault 9 is gone. The code sleeps. I am tired. Jace held Brack's paw tightly. You taught me more than machines ever could. You gave me purpose. Brack managed the smallest smile. And you gave me peace. His glowing lines faded, his breathing stopped, and Jace, the poor mechanic from a rusted moon, screamed into the wind. Weeks later, the galaxy moved on, but stories began to spread of a wolf that walked like a warrior, of a mechanic who faced a fleet, of Vault 9, the Lost Empire's secret gone forever. Jace rebuilt his workshop, this time on a peaceful moon, where orphans and ex-soldiers came to repair old machines and broken hearts. He built a statue in the center of the courtyard, a large, alien wolf, with these words at its base: he was not built to destroy, he was born to protect.